Good morning students. I welcome you all to a new class in physics today. In today's class children, we will discuss the different formulae which are related to the two mirrors, that is concave and convex. Though you are quite lucky enough that the board this year has cancelled out the numerical problems based on these formulae. But I would like to discuss it with you because it contains some important sign conventions also. Okay, so I have written it down for you already and I am going to discuss these formulae with you. So please have a careful look as I discuss one by one. I first begin with this. Children, you are already aware of this. I have done this with you. It says radius of curvature is double the focal length. Okay, the radius of curvature is double the focal length, or we say that the focal length is half the radius of curvature, right? So let's pick up an example. If I say that the focal length is 2 centimeters, so the radius of curvature is going to be 4 centimeters, okay? And if I say that the radius of curvature is 4, and if I need to find out the focal length, it is going to be divided by 2 and that will be 2 centimeters. Now let us move to the next formula. You can see this, I have written it as mirror formula. You have a lens formula when you do the lenses. This is the mirror formula. What does the mirror formula state? It states 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon u plus 1 upon v. This is known as the mirror formula. Now let's see what do these symbols stand for. Symbol f stands for focal length. Symbol u stands for the distance of the object from the mirror. The distance of the object from the mirror. And v stands for the distance of the image from the mirror. Okay. Now look at these. These are known as sign conventions and we follow these sign conventions strictly. For a concave mirror, whatever the value of u or f may be, if whether it is 2 or 3 or whatever, always u and f are considered to be negative, are taken as negative for concave. Okay. And for concave mirror, you know that we have two types of images. One a real image and the other a virtual image. Now whenever the image formed in a concave is real, in that case the value of v is always considered to be negative. Okay children? And whenever we have a virtual image, in that case the value of v is considered to be positive. Okay? So u and f always negative. You know, because when we draw the diagram, then u and f are on the side which is the reflecting side. Okay, while in case of real image also, the image is formed on the reflecting side. So you can say, see the similarity, it is negative. While in case of virtual, the image is formed behind. So that is why it is taken as positive. Real? Ready? Now, we go to the convex. Okay, now for convex, always u is negative. That is, the object distance from the mirror is always taken as negative, and v and f are always considered to be positive. So just look at the different sign conventions considered, children. And so far when you look at the different cases which we drew, always a real image is inverted. You must have checked it out. Please check it out again. Real images are always inverted and virtual images are always erect. Right? So this is one side of it. Now let's come to this part. Here I have written another formula. It says small m is equal to capital I upon capital O. Now what does small m stand for? Small m is known as the magnification. The magnification of an image. It is given by I over O. This is the formula which is equal to minus v upon u. It is a formula in continuation. What does I stand for? I stands for the height of the image or the length of the image, and O stands for the length or the height of the object. So the formula for magnification is I over O, which is equal to minus V over U. You already know what is V. It is the distance of the image from the mirror. U is the distance of the object from the mirror. Now for real images, whenever the image is real, that is in case of concave, when the image is real, we have seen the value of U and V. See, for real images, the value of u and v both are negative. So, when I put negative and negative over here, they will get cancelled. So, ultimately, what will be my magnification? It is going to be negative. Okay, so for a real and inverted image, the magnification is negative. What about a virtual image? Now here in concave one case and in convex both the cases are virtual. We know it. So for a virtual image, the value of u is negative, but the value of v is positive, children. Okay, positive. Value of v for virtual is positive. So when I substitute it here, the negative and the negative will become positive, and therefore my magnification is positive. Right? So have a careful look. When the image is real, the magnification is negative. When the image is virtual, the magnification is positive. Okay, and this is the mirror formula, and these are the different sign conventions which are going to be put in the mirror formula before calculating the result. And children, as I told you that the numerical problems are omitted this time, so we are not going to solve them, but I want you to go through this information, which is definitely going to help you when you pick up physics as a subject in +1 and +2, where you have to go into details of solving numerical problems. So please have a look. If you want to note it down also, you can please note it down. These are important as far as the mirror formula and the sign conventions of the different images for concave and convex are considered. Just have a look. After this, I go to the last topic of the chapter, in which I am going to discuss the different uses for concave and convex one by one. How are concave and convex mirrors useful in our day-to-day life? We are going to look at that. Okay. So before that, just I am going to keep this for you for 1 more minute. Have a careful look at these different sign conventions and the formula, and later on, now I am going to begin with the different uses for concave and convex. Okay, now I erase this, and I hope you must have gone through the different formulae for concave and convex mirrors. Now we start discussing the uses. I start with uses of a concave mirror first. Okay. Now, where is a concave mirror used in our day-to-day lives? We know we use plane mirrors daily. We look, that's a looking mirror. A plane mirror is a looking mirror. Okay. But what about concave? Concave is used as a shaving mirror. The first use is concave is used as a shaving mirror. Now why? Question comes to your mind. Why is it used as a shaving mirror? You saw, children, very quickly I'll show you again. We had taken this case. You remember, children? Just recollect which is this case. I want you to recollect in your mind quickly. Which is this case which we drew? Yes? I hope you understood which case have I drawn over here very quickly. Where the image was virtual and highly magnified. Yes? You got it right. It's the 7th case, where the object was taken very close to the mirror. So, in shaving mirror, this is the case which I am referring to. In a shaving mirror, the object is placed very close to the mirror, and when I place the object, that is my face, very close to the mirror, the image formed is virtual, erected, highly magnified. So, what is going to help me? How is it going to help me? It is going to give a clear picture, a detailed picture of my face. So therefore, barbers use it as a shaving mirror because they can see each and every detail of a person's face. Right? So that's why case 7 refers to the utility of a concave mirror as a shaving mirror. Okay? So you have to remember this. Which case does it correspond to? Shaving mirror corresponds to case 7. You can note it down. Shaving mirror corresponds to case 7. Now I come to the next use. The next use is it is used as a reflector. A concave mirror is used as a reflector. Now let's look at which case does it correspond to. You know, which case? You remember this case when I took the object at F. When the object is taken at F, children, the image is formed at infinity. You remember? Okay. So here, what is done in a reflector? A reflector can be used in car headlights. It could be used in big lighthouses to illuminate large areas. Okay. Now here you can see I have placed the source of light at F. The source of light could be a bulb, okay, it is placed at F. The rays of light come out and they strike the concave mirror. After striking the mirror, they become parallel. So they illuminate this bigger surface area, right? So therefore, you can say the reflector use corresponds to case where the object is placed at F. So what do you see? You see that after striking the mirror, the area illuminated, or they become parallel and covers a big area, and therefore it gets illuminated. So it is used as reflectors. Okay, children. Then it is used by the third use. It is used by the doctors, or you can say the dentists, or the doctors, the ENT specialists. Now, why do they use it, and for what purpose do they use it? You know, when the object, when rays of light, here they follow that case, that when rays of light are moving parallel, they pass through F. This is case 1. You remember, children? The ray of light, the source of light is parallel. It is first falling on the mirror, and then it comes and falls on that area, maybe a tooth, maybe ear, maybe nose, maybe eyes. So therefore the doctors, the ENT specialists and the dentists use that case for concave to focus the light on one particular point so as to illuminate it and see it very, very clearly, because the parts are very tiny. The tooth is such a small part in our body, and then even the eye has minute details, even the ear. So to just focus the light on that particular point to see it more clearly, the dentists use, or maybe the ENT specialists, the doctors use it to examine the different body parts. Okay, so these are the different uses for concave. Now we move on to the uses for convex. Isn't it very interesting, children? You know, you get to know so many things that how a concave mirror is used in our day-to-day lives. Then we come to convex, children. Uses of convex. Now we pick up what are the uses for convex mirror. The first use for convex is that it is used as a reflector. Again, here also, it could be used as a reflector for street lights or street lamps. Okay. Now what happens here? How can it be used? You know, for convex, you had this case that when rays of light, they are parallel, they appear to pass through F. You remember this, children? And actually you see that the lights diverge out. Understood? Now here what happens? We are using this here as reflector because when the rays of light are striking a convex, after striking they diverge out, because the convex is a diverging mirror. So it is going to illuminate a larger area, a larger spread out area, and thus it is used as a reflector in street lights. When you stand under the street light, have you observed? The light comes this way, it spreads out. Even when you are performing on stage, they have that spotlights which move on to the stage when it is totally dark. Sometimes it converges and sometimes it diverges. The beam of light can be converged or diverged. What do you think will be used in that light, children? I want you to find out. Please find out. Okay, this is for you to find out that how can we diverge a beam and how can we converge a beam at a point on stage performances while stage performances are going on. Okay, right. Now, we move on to the next part. That is, it is used, I am going to the next use of convex, it is used as a rear view mirror. It is used as a rear view mirror. What is the meaning of the word rear view, children? Rear view. Rear means behind. Behind you. It could be used to give you a view which is from behind, because it's difficult for you to turn back and look. Okay. So I will just support it with the diagram. This is the convex mirror. Okay. And here the rays of light, appear to meet and diverge. Actually, the rays are coming from far away here, like this. This is the driver. Actually, let me tell you, convex is used in case of vehicles. While you are in a car, there is a plane mirror right in front of you, where you see your things which are coming, the traffic which is coming from behind. Okay, and you have panels, you have side mirrors in the cars. They are the rear view mirrors and they are convex. while you drive, you look into both the mirrors as well as the mirror right in front of you while driving. Now the rear view mirror actually gives you the image of the vehicles which are coming left and right, so that before taking a turn, or maybe if you're trying to go left or right, turn left or right, of course you give an indication to the person behind you, but you should know that you do not take a wrong turn and then you bang into someone. So it's very dangerous. So for that, it is used as a rear view mirror. The driver is here, okay. This light which is coming from far off, see how much area it is covering. This light which is rays coming and striking the mirror, after striking the mirror it reaches the driver. It is reaching the driver. So therefore, sitting inside, the person is able to see, take a wider view of the traffic behind him, and therefore it is used as a rear view mirror, because the image is formed here. This is the image formed, this is the person sitting, and from here the light rays are coming and striking the convex mirror. Okay children, so this was, these were the two cases for convex. These were the two uses which I discussed for convex. Okay. Now my last topic for today, which is very interesting children. Okay, it's an interesting thing. Suppose if somebody gives you a plane mirror, a convex mirror and a concave mirror. All the three mirrors are placed in front of you. Plane mirror, concave and convex. Okay, and nobody tells you which is concave, which is convex or which is plane. They are kept in front of you and you have to decide which is plane mirror, which is concave, which is convex. How would you do it? How would you do it, children? Okay, so I am not going to answer this question, right? I have given you two questions for today. That is your mental exercise. I have already done the entire chapter with you. I have discussed so many things with you. I have discussed the types of images formed, the nature of the images formed in the concave and convex mirrors. I did the sign conventions, I did the mirror formula, I did the magnification with you, right? Then we also discussed plane mirrors in detail, right? So what I want you to do is recollect all that you have studied for plane mirror, for concave mirror, for convex mirror, and I want you to answer this question. You have a plane mirror, you have a convex mirror, you have a concave mirror placed in front of you, and you have to identify which is the correct mirror, which is a plane, which is convex and which is concave. How would you identify? And second question which I told you, while performing on stage, the lights, different lights which we use to have a bright spot or a dim spot. For what? How can you manage that on stage? Okay children, and also I want you to go through some more uses, find out some more uses for concave and convex and plane. Okay, it's an exercise which you are going to do over the week, and then we'll discuss it in our class. Okay, so thank you very much children. This ends the chapter light. It was quite a long chapter. I want you to go through the entire lectures which I had prepared for you, and we will discuss our doubts in the interactive class, and do remember to answer those questions which I have asked you to answer. Okay children, thank you very much.